Good evening, everyone. So it's 6:30, I just clicked out 6:34, calling to order the CB9 Landmarks and Parks Committee meeting. And we have a quorum with only 2 members out. All right, go down the line.
Yeah. It's not 5.
Any addition to this evening's agenda? Change modifications? So go on. And, April's there, and we need a motion to adopt the minutes, and everyone review the minutes. I sent that link out. There have been some revisions to make some corrections.
I never received it.
What,
I did not receive a link where I could make corrections.
did
And there
you,
are some corrections that are needed.
did you receive the link to the email?
I did not receive minutes that I could access, so that I did not have access.
So you received the
I
minutes.
received an email that I did not have access to make sure this.
So what changes do you need to make? So are we adopting the minutes or,
Not at this time, because there are some corrections that are required.
okay, what are the corrections?
We're gonna discuss that later. We're gonna get on with the meeting. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay.
And oh, is there a problem?
Yes,
Sorry.
Oh, there's.
Thank you.
Yes, we'll cover that in full business.
Yeah, let's do this whole business.
We'll call the meeting to order at 2:35.
The meeting has been already called to order. Let's sign into public. Do you want to take care of this, Simon?
I think we can just move on, y'all.
Yeah, let's just move on. All right. So Leslie. We are ready to hear from you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, folks. Thank you for inviting State Parks into the meeting. Happy to talk about Danny Farrell Riverbank State Park. On the capital improvement side, as you know, our pool is still closed. We're renovating both the pool's filter plant and also the bulkhead. The work is on track. We hope to announce an opening date very soon, and our fingers are crossed that that date will occur prior to March. So stay tuned on that. Our stair tower service or renovation is also still going on, the stair tower and the elevator. That's also on track. That's a longer project, so it'll be into the spring or early summer before it's finished. Our cultural HVAC replacement project, also on track. This one's been, frankly, pretty invasive for the park, and we're going to have some days this month where, because the giant pieces of equipment will be put on top of the roof of the building, and we'll have 2 giant cranes for safety purposes, we're going to have to close the cultural building for a bunch of days, but there'll be plenty of signage about how to get in and around and get to the different services. The park will be open. It's just different traffic patterns for a set of days. Event-wise, our community garden lottery is coming up, folks, February 15th. You can get into the theater at 10, doors close at 10:59, the lottery starts at 11. All the rules, all the guidelines are all posted. That's February 15th for the community garden lottery, and it's going to be held rain or shine, blizzard or balm. That's the date. We have a senior social coming up on January 23rd. Free, Tungsten Steel is the band. Rhythm and blues, funk-based, should be really great. We have an ongoing program with the Harlem Dance Exchange that's proved to be really fun and really popular. It's free Lindy Hop lessons followed by open dance and DJ. Upcoming dates, January 25th, February 15th, March 29th. Skating is open for the season as long as the ice and the cold weather is here. Skating is open, so check the park schedule for all the public skating. It's super popular, super wonderful. We continue adult open pickleball Saturdays in the gym, 6 to 8. And ladies open gym basketball Thursdays and Sundays, 8 to 10. So that's just a little tiny slice of what's going on in the park. Please come enjoy your neighborhood state park. It's there for you.
Any
Happy to
questions
take.
for Leslie? I'm sorry, Leslie.
Nope,
stepped
just going
on
to
you.
say the same thing as you did. So please, if
Yeah.
we have time, I'm happy for questions.
Yes. First we'll go there,
Shannon.
inside.
Oh,
Hi,
sorry.
Leslie. Right,
Hi.
I didn't want to jump ahead in the room, so I'll wait.
Yeah, any questions from in the room?
So yeah, Leslie, can you repeat what you said about the, close? You said someone was gonna close weekly for a couple days?
Just different traffic pattern for the main building, you know, the cultural building. When you walk into the park and there's the welcome desk, and then you can go left to the skating rink or right to the theater. That lobby and the theater and the offices upstairs are going to have to close for safety reasons while the giant equipment and the giant pieces of HVAC are put on the roof. It's just a handful of days. There'll be signs posted. It's not that any programs or services will be closed. The park will be open. It's just because for safety reasons, we'll have different traffic patterns. So there'll be plenty of signage at the park to help you get to where you need to go.
Thank you.
And,
Sure.
Shannon?
Yes, thank you. Hi, Leslie. Happy New Year. Real quick question for you. Compliments to Riverbank. Yes, Riverbank State Park. Your Instagram game is fantastic. Saw a bunch of flyers recently. In particular, the garden lottery. I plan to share that with my building. We're right across from you guys at Riverview Towers. But I thought I recalled in the past, I may recall wrong, that the garden lottery, there was a registration fee or there was a garden plot fee after people were chosen for and there's no mention of any cost regarding participation in the program. I want to clarify that before communicating it to my building to make sure I managed expectations. Is there a cost at some point? And if so, will that be incorporated in the flyer at some point prior to the lottery?
Yeah, no, good question. I am 99.9% sure there is no fee, but
That's a fee.
I
but
remember there
the
kind of being one, but I don't remember specifics about it.
it might be a key fee is the only reason I'm hesitating, Shannon.
Okay.
But what's your
I'll send the Instagram a direct message, or I'll send you an email. Which would you prefer?
send me an email and I'll follow up. And I put my email in the chat, so feel free
I
to
saw
use
it.
that. And I'm glad you raised that, and I should know the answer, so I'll make sure and get you the full and complete answer.
No, we're good. Happy to help. We got plenty of time. I just want to make sure to, I don't want the
Yeah.
old people in my building being upset that they get surprised. That's all.
Understood and appreciate that. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
Good. Thank you, Leslie.
My
Moving
pleasure.
on. Any other questions for Leslie?
Yes, Leslie, did you mention the Friends of Riverbank State Park meeting this Saturday?
Heather, you're saving my life. Thank you. Oh my goodness. How
You're
could I
very
forget that?
welcome.
Oh my goodness. So the Friends of Denny Farrell Riverbank State Park meet every second Saturday from 10:30 in the morning until noon. And the meetings are almost always held in the main building, the cultural building, we call it, on the second floor in rehearsal room B. Saturday coming up is the second Saturday of January, and that date is January 11th. And yes, indeed, we are having the Friends Group meeting as convened by Ann Rocker. And every single one of you, every single one of your neighbors, every single one of your friends, every single one of your family members, everybody's invited. We've been having great turnout lately and just hope to continue that trend to get folks better looped into the park to talk about anything they want more information about, any concerns, any questions, and how they might want to help, right? So thank you.
All right, thank you, Leslie. Is that it? Motion for Riverbank. So we move on to Mallory.
Hi there, good evening. Yeah, just actually keeping on as normal at the greenhouse. We just wanted to highlight a few of our almost daily classes that are coming up. So if you haven't come in a while, maybe some of these classes will pique your interest. I know a few folks have been very interested in our Ethiopian cooking, which is usually on a Wednesday or Thursday. We have our special Ethiopian cooking takeover for this Saturday at our family pharmacy program. I'm going to leave all of our programs listed in the chat so that you can find them on our website. No need to pre-register. You're welcome to simply drop in. But we have almost daily programs, at least Tuesday through Saturday and every other Sunday. Yeah, some things coming up. This Saturday, we have some Ethiopian cooking with Finay, who's a Harlem-based chef. And let me pick up my notes. Tomorrow, we've got a Healing and Happiness, a sensory awareness journey continuation. All these programs are free. We're going to be doing some art making, exploring our wellness vision boards. We've got some fun gardening how-to, learn how to garden with microgreens. We're going to be having a soil exploration and soil distribution coming up. So be on the lookout for our programs. And the one other thing that I wanted to highlight is now that school is back in session and your local schools are starting to look at field trips. I did want to mention that all of CB9 schools get free field trips, and we have a couple different offerings, always some kind of gardening. They'll always take home a plant, and we've also added some lessons to choose from for teachers that are in alignment with the climate action from the DOE. So be on the lookout for that, and I will leave the link for teachers to be able to register for our field trips or ask any questions in the chat as well. But yeah, please encourage your local schools and remind them that they get free field trips and they can go and then enjoy the park. And I want to say thank you to everyone who stopped by for our market bag giveaway, which was a takeover by the young people who are in our Hort Greenhouse internship. They had a really wonderful 12-week series and enjoy curating their own event with market bags. So thank you so much for everyone who came and got their market bag and had a day with them. We're going to be going on to our next cohort in February, but I'll be able to share that date for anyone in our next meeting. But if anyone is interested, I will send the email to our programs email in the chat, and if you're interested, if young people in high school are interested in joining us, they can send a letter of interest and we'll get them the application. Thank you.
Really?
Thank you, Mallory.
Any questions for Mallory? All right.
Oh, and thank you everyone who signed into the chat. I guess everyone knows how we do things. So if you're just getting online, please sign into the chat so that we know that you're here and we appreciate your participation. And if you feel comfortable, you can leave your email address to make sure that you're added to the email blast. And everyone here in person, please make sure that you sign in. Thank you so much.
Great. Moving on, NYC Parks, Jindu.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Jindu Obasi. I know it's been a while since we've given an update. So I work with Green Thumb Community Garden Program. We are the community gardening division of the Parks Department. Citywide, we have 550 gardens, and I have 9 coworkers who divvy up all the gardens throughout the city. Our official titles are community engagement coordinators. And our program's a little bit unique in that we don't have a very prescriptive kind of like cookie cutter. This is how all our gardens are going to look like arrangement. It's more or less, we meet with community residents that are interested in gardening, and we hear their vision of how these community garden spaces will best serve the interest of them and the residents in the neighborhood. and we're there to assist them to make their vision come to fruition. So that being said, it's a little bit of a bittersweet message tonight from me. I've been working with Community Board 9 Gardens for the past 9 seasons. However, I will be transitioning. Historically, we've sort of aligned our purviews to community boards, but now we're moving on to align them to council districts. So I'm going to be covering gardens to the north of 155th Street, and I also have the bulk of my gardens in the South Bronx. So, but luckily I have 2 co-workers who are going to be covering the 9 gardens that are under the jurisdiction of Parks Department here in Community Board 9, and I'll give them a chance to actually introduce themselves a little bit later. Both of them are very well acquainted with gardens and parks in Manhattan, in northern Manhattan in particular. So so I kind of want to go ahead and sort of give an update of our gardens. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Also, I'd like to encourage everyone, I'm going to leave in the chat a link that gives you the actual locations. It's an interactive map that shows the locations of all of our gardens. And we just love to encourage, you know, anyone who's interested to get in contact with us and find out how you can get involved. So I'm going to go ahead and share.
Hey, Ginger, you need to share your screen?
Yes.
Okay, let me find you on the list. And then please just let me know if anyone else needs to have their screen shared.
Okay. Okay, I'm trying to see here.
Yeah.
Okay, can you guys see my presentation here?
Not yet. We see you.
Oh, you see me? Uh-oh, wait a minute. Sorry about the technical difficulties here. Okay, let me see here. Where we at? I don't know.
Oh, maybe you can do it now.
Okay, let me see here. Are you seeing?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I'm just pretty much going to start from our southernmost gardens and move north. So on the corner of Amsterdam and West 111th, we have the Julia Gabriel Community Garden. It has a long history of community activism, a very active community member base. This past season, they've had a number of exciting events. They actually had this event this past July where they had a number of groups that actually formed based on interactions in the garden space. We had some musical groups, we had opera singers, and it was just a very well celebrated event, well attended. The garden is very, very magnetic, I can say. You know, you have students, you have, you know, workers of the local medical establishments that, you know, stop during the lunch break. So it's a very, very sort of passive but colorful garden space. So next we have Gatehouse Garden, which is on Amsterdam Avenue between West 118th and West 119th, and right across the street from Columbia University. Also has a very large membership base that's very actively engaged. They have a collaboration with Columbia Secondary School, which is a high school there on 123rd Street. So they have a number of, you know, ecological awareness type projects that they've been engaged in, involving like solar energy and successful gardening, things of that sort. They've also been doing a number of exciting garden modifications. They put in this brick pathway from reclaimed bricks. The superstars of the garden are actually the chickens that they have. I get numerous calls throughout the growing season. People are concerned about the chickens and making, you know, want to make sure they're well taken care of, which is sort of like a special feature that actually gets people more actively interested in being involved in the garden space. So next we have Harlem Grown, PS 125 Community Garden, which is adjacent Playground 125, which was recently renovated. It's a smaller space and has a lot of involvement from Harlem Grown, but also the adjacent two schools in PS 29. I mean, PS, I'm sorry, 125. And so we're definitely looking for summer stewards to help assist when school's in recess, and also work along with Harlan Grown. We have Jenny's Garden. We have legendary pioneer gardener Jenny Benitez, who unfortunately passed on 3 years ago. She transformed the space back in the 80s and has been actively working to ensure that the garden is actually, the oasis that it currently is. The garden's very diverse. There's like 5 different interactive zones. You have a seed starting greenhouse area. You have a Zen garden. You have, a flower border garden along 138th Street. So it's a very, very interactive space, and I would very much encourage those who are interested to stop by and volunteer their assistance.
One of our members are part of Jenny's Garden, Victoria.
Okay. Excellent, excellent. Frank White Memorial Garden on 506 West 143rd Street is adjacent a very reputable nonprofit called Brotherhood Sister Soul that offers constructive youth programming to area young people. And they have them involved with numerous different projects, one of which is this aquaponics, ecologically closed loop system set up in the greenhouse where you have fish that actually help to fertilize these aquaponics grow beds. So all year round they're growing leafy greens and herbs, and they're always welcoming the public to come and tour the site. They also have a very active community composting program, which are run by the young people. So I definitely will encourage anybody interested in seeing the dynamic things that are going on there to stop by, pay them a visit. We have Sugar Hill Garden, and Sugar Hill is doing well. The past 2 growing seasons, they've been expanding the membership base, and they're open to new creative projects, and are definitely very excited to welcome people who are interested in joining forces with them. We have Edgecombe Garden Park Sanctuary, which also has been hosting events. They had a Art in the Garden workshops this past April, and they also had some Halloween events. So definitely looking to get additional members that can assist with some of the maintenance and some of the manual labor that's needed to upkeep this garden space. So we're definitely looking to get more community volunteers to offer their assistance. We have Sugar Hill Hope Garden, which is actually under the jurisdiction of DEP, Department of Environmental Protection, but has sort of left it to us to help to manage the site. But it's actually a through lot between West 153rd and West 152nd and West 153rd, and it's also a very passive space. They have some beekeeping going on. They recently constructed some raised garden beds that they're hoping to fill in the next growing season. So a lot of exciting things going on there. We have William A. Harris Garden, which is on the corner of St. Nicholas and West 153rd Street. It is just bursting with color. We have stewards that have extensive knowledge in horticulture and flowers and floral design. So definitely would encourage those interested to stop by and pay them a visit. And the last garden that I have here is Convent Garden. It's not a Green Thumb garden space, but it still is a community garden that welcomes the community to be involved. We had some legendary elders, and I'm forgetting the names right now, that actually were responsible for the establishment of this garden space. And I had the opportunity to stop by and visit this past growing season. And I was delighted to see that, we have the whole community that has been helping to man the site and making sure that it's active and open and accessible to the public. So that's pretty much it for overview of the gardens. And possible, I think my coworkers are here who I'm going to be handing the torch to for taking care of the community gardens that are interested in continuing to stay involved in our gardens. And I would love to give them the opportunity to actually say a word. So thank you.
Just quickly introduce themselves so we can just see who they are.
Yes, we have Cynthia Guerra.
Hi everyone.
Welcome, Cynthia.
Hi everyone. Cynthia Guerra here. I'll put my information in the chat. I'm excited to join Community Board 9 community.
Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
And I think we also have Ashley Konecki. Pronouns they, them.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Konecki. I'm new to Green Thumb. I just started with Green Thumb in November, but not new to parks. I was a communication coordinator with Partnerships for Parks for 6 years working in Manhattan. So I'm really excited to be here and get to know all of you and get to see the gardens in Community Board and meet everybody.
Thank you so much. And Jinder, I'm not sure if you all emailed the list of community gardens. If you could please make sure that you get that to us. We'd like to also put it on our community board website if possible.
Okay. Absolutely.
I think Alex may have sent a map, but I just didn't have a chance to look at it this afternoon.
Okay. All right. We'll make sure
Okay.
to get those materials to you.
Does anyone have any questions? Go ahead, Veronica.
I wanted to thank Green Thumb for highlighting these magical spots in our community. I noticed that at least 4 of the gardens were named after community leaders. And given that part of our purview is preservation, really like remembering the story of who these gardens are named after is such an important part of the work. So I was gonna ask Jinder if you could speak to, are there plaques in these gardens that highlight these community leaders, or Ashley, Cynthia, a suggestion to maybe weave some of that legacy work into the maintenance of the gardens, I think is a great way to preserve some of the local history.
So yes, we are here to support, if there's any event that commemorates these pioneers and these, matriarchs and patriarchs of, community garden in the neighborhoods, we're here to support. And, any ideas that, the members of the community have, the garden members have, we're here to definitely champion those ideas. We're always open to change the name of gardens to actually reflect these individuals. And we definitely, anytime there's a commemoration event, we want to make sure that we have signage that we could actually put the official large, parks authorized sign on the fence of the garden to pay homage to these individuals. So yeah, we're very much open to the vision and direction of the community groups themselves. And we depend on the members to actually democratically make decisions so that we know that it actually reflects the sentiment of the entire group.
I have a question. So that I'm clear on what the chain of command is now that you are moving to council, does that mean the 2 people that are replacing you are the points of contact for the community garden at present? And the people that are replacing you report to who?
They report to my 2 coworkers that I introduced tonight. We do work together though, so definitely, I know a lot of the back history and whatnot. So, and I'm here to support too. I'm
Okay,
not far away, I'm
so
still here.
if I'm hearing you correctly, what you're saying to me is that the community gardens now have the 2 people replacing you as the point of reference. My question to you was, the 2 people that are replacing you, who do they report to? Are they still reporting to Alex, or is there someone else?
It's Alex. It's
Okay.
Alex. Yes, and I'm sorry, let me also clarify. So there's 2 gardens that my coworker Ashley will be sort of working with, and they are along Edgecombe Avenue. And the remainder of the 7 gardens, Cynthia will be working with. So it's a little bit confusing, but definitely.
Okay, thank you.
We'll catch on. Excellent question, Annette. Thank you. Okay. All right, and thank you. And unfortunately, we didn't. We hate to see you leave, but we look forward to the other people who are going to be replacing you, and you please stay in touch with us.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm still here at Green Thumb, and I live in Manhattan.
Okay.
So, yes.
Hey, folks, it's Shannon. Just before Ejendo goes, I want to wish him our best. I want to request, follow up to Heather, the presentation with all the gardens named in the pictures. I think the slide deck is beautiful, and I believe it's intended to have that submitted to Community Board 9. If a slide or two could be added to the end that has the contact information for Ashley and for Cynthia, along with which gardens they'll be associated with in that deck, I think it might help for us to refer that information in the future when we have hands. If it's available, if it's possible, I'd appreciate it.
I will work on that and have that tomorrow at the latest.
Yes, please email that to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Kelly, let's see, Kelly, that you're on this month. Do you have a few words for us? Happy New Year, welcome.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I have a couple of updates for you. Nothing too intense. But first of all, I just want to say, yeah, thank you for having me and Happy New Year. I'm here representing the National Park Service at Hamilton Grange and Grants Tomb. We are currently in our planning season, so we will have more information about spring, summer, and fall offerings pretty soon. But in the meantime, a couple of small things. We have a birthday card that you can come and sign at Hamilton Grange. It is Alexander Hamilton's birthday on Saturday. And then we also have a free postcard craft activity. In the past, kids and adults alike have really enjoyed that. We are also getting ready for our Martin Luther King Jr. Exhibit at Grant's Tomb. So starting next week, the Rangers will start to bolster interpretive services in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. There are a couple of closures to note. First of all, the lawn just in front of Hamilton Grange and just to the east of Hamilton Grange is closed. We just had a whole new, the whole lawn has been resodded. Special thanks to Pashi for helping us to coordinate that. I don't have a reopen date for that lawn just yet, but when I find out the reopen date, I will bring that to you all. And also, Grant's Tomb is currently closed as we await repairs to our heating system inside of the mausoleum. But the visitor center is still open, so if you wanted to come and chat with our rangers and learn more about General Grant or Martin Luther King Jr., please feel free to stop by for regular hours, Wednesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that's about all I have for you guys this month.
Go ahead, April.
Hey Valerie, nice to see you. It's April, if the turn's over here.
Hi.
Hey, thank you for that update. I noticed again that, still on Mondays and Tuesdays that pedestrian gates closed, so, I think what we'll do is I'll probably write a reso for the board, for St. Nicholas Park, and maybe we can, and I think that might be helpful for you and your team to send to the National Park Service about that gate. So just an FYI there, and then, what about trash cans at Hamilton Grange and that portion? Has that ever been talked through?
Not to my knowledge. We haven't had trash cans as long as I've worked there, but it is another thing that we can bring up with management. Yeah.
Maybe we'll add it to the reso, but yeah, thank you. Yeah, litter baskets would go a long way up there, but you'll also already keep it very clean, but yeah, sometimes it's a thing. Okay, great. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. Good to hear from you.
Wesley, is Wesley on?
Hey, good evening. This is Wes Hamilton with Riverside Park in West Harlem Piers. Not a lot to update, but our projects are on schedule at 142 Dog Run. The one thing I'd like to mention is right next to Grant's Tomb at our park, Claremont. The comfort stations will probably be closed mainly due to the weather. We have electrical issues and the heat just doesn't provide enough. The existing heater doesn't provide enough heat for the restrooms. So we have to add supplemental heat. And with that heat, we keep the doors closed to try to preserve the building. So we'll probably be closing that bathroom down this week now since we're in the sub-freezing weather, and look to open it very early in the spring. It can handle some cold, but when we get in these deep freezes, we like to shut it down and make sure we got enough heat to keep the pipes from freezing. So with that, there's no really any new updates. If there's any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer it. I'd also like to wish everyone a happy new year and a happy, healthy new year to everyone.
Good. Thank you, Wesley. Any questions for Wesley?
Loretta, you have any questions?
Wesley, do you have an update on Cherry Walk?
Cherry Walk is also moving along very well. We expect that to open early again as well, but it's really coming down to the weather again. The deep freeze doesn't help us with Cherry Walk, but we expect that to be opening as probably as soon as we get a nice window of warm weather. So it's on schedule as best I can say right now for Cherry Walk.
Thank you.
We have another question. Go ahead, Marita.
Okay, public
Sure.
bathrooms at the West Harlem Piers.
Hi. I'm sorry, what was the question for West Harlem?
Public bathrooms at the West Harlem Piers.
As far as I know, there's no funding for the public restrooms. I know we have ordered the porta johns for the last couple of years, and as far as I know, we're not having any issues with that. So we take that out in the wintertime just because of usage. It kind of ends up being more of a homeless shelter sometimes as it gets into the middle of winter. But we anticipate bringing the porta potties back once the spring comes around at West Harlem.
Good.
2 of them, correct?
She's asking.
Yes.
Number 2.
Yes.
Porta potties.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, Stephanie.
Thank
you. Thanks, Wesley.
Thanks, Wes. Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie. I'm the North Park Outreach Coordinator for Riverside Park. So I work from 120th Street to the southern end of Fort Washington Park, 181st Street. Sorry, I forgot where I worked. And it's such a lovely pleasure to be here. Happy New Year. And thank you to Ijendu for the presentation. It was so lovely to see Jenny's garden there, and so nice to see Veronica in the room. Okay, 2 updates. One, we have Mulch Fest coming up. It is actually in CB7, but if you still have your Christmas tree up, what are you doing? Put it on the side of the drive, up on the park side, and we'll come pick it up. We can come pick it up from 153rd Street all the way down. Our Mulch Fest is on 83rd Street. If you don't know what Mulch Fest is, it is us recycling all these Christmas trees, turning them into beautiful pine mulch that smells so lovely. So yeah, go ahead and put that gently in the park, and we will come pick it up on the drive on the park side. Hopefully that makes sense. Please do that before Saturday. Thank you. And what was my second update? Oh yes, we are starting again to garden at Ralph Ellison Memorial. That is open to the community. So Ralph Ellison Memorial Plaza is on 150th Street and Riverside Drive. So come learn how to garden with us. If it is too cold, we will cancel it. But as of now, it's on January 25th, which is a Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And we're going to keep doing that the 4th Saturday of every month. And as the spring kind of rolls around, I'll start sharing more opportunities to garden in the park. But that is our only one that's kind of open for the winter. So yeah, that's all I got.
Friends of St. Nicholas Park.
Hello.
I know you're on.
I am. Sorry, my video. Let me try that again.
That's
There we
okay.
go. Happy New Year, everyone. I just have a very
Happy New Year.
the brief report. I mean, like Callie mentioned, we're kind of in quiet and planning season right now, but we did end the year with our holiday tree lighting in the park. And it was a really lovely event. We were rescheduled by a week, but it was great, and we had a nice turnout. We had a lovely jazz ensemble from the Jazz Master's Program at City College, and Tricia Shimamura, the Manhattan's Borough Commissioner, came as well. So we had just a really nice family event. And if hopefully everybody got a chance to see the lights, we did colored lights this year. It was a big change for us, and fun. And the tree looked actually really spectacular this year. So, and then otherwise, like I said, we're sort of in the process of just doing planning for the coming year. A couple of things I want to mention in that regard, though. One is that two of our leaders, Dan Fishman and Rachel Zurier, who happen to be married, have moved further uptown, and they're actually also very happily expecting their first child in March. So they're going to have less time. So we are, we always are, but we're actively looking for folks who want to sort of, if they have an interest in working with the Friends group and in the park, and to have more of a sort of hands-on leadership type role. We're always happy to talk to them. I don't think it's a substantial time commitment necessarily. It's, I think, more of a consistent type of time commitment. But if anybody's interested, we have sort of 4 areas we focus on: beautification, which is cleanups and gardening. We do advocacy, which is fundraising and capital improvement advocacy for the park. We do programming in the park, and our 4th area really is communication, social media, and kind of keeping people apprised of what we do. So if any of that or something else I didn't mention is of interest, please reach out to me. And then I guess I'll just mention we continue to, particularly right now, advocate again for capital improvements in the park. We're really long overdue for a lot of that. I had a walkthrough with Commissioner Shimamura a couple of months ago, along with Matt and Tapashi, and really talked about the needs of the park, especially playgrounds and stairs. We're continuing that discussion, getting some, I think, positive developments there. And also want to mention, which Matt maybe and Tapashi have more updated information, but there is a staircase reconstruction project that has been approved and is in the design phase. And according to the tracker, is scheduled to start in February and end in May of 2026. So there's some good things happening, but we can always use a lot more help. So if anybody's interested, please reach out. And that's it.
Oh, thank you. Clyde.
Hello, all. Clyde Brogdon, not Brigham Keener, so representing Friends of Morningside Park. Brigham and myself are on the Parks Liaison Committee, so we might alternate, but that's why I'm here, why Brigham's name's there. So again, it's been fairly quiet for us. We also had our tree lighting, which was a really nice event in Morningside Park. And we're also, our board is now in our planning stages for what events we'll have in 2025 that we will have in the park. Ongoing event is the farmers market that goes on every Saturday. So that goes on through the winter if you want to get some nice fresh produce on Saturday morning outside of Morningside Park. Probably the major capital project that's going on now is the restoration one of the sets of stairs that go from the low level of the park up to Morningside Drive, the 113th Street stairs. And when I looked at it, it looks like it's coming along very nicely. But again, Matt might be able to say a little bit more about that, but it looks very well that it should be open this springtime. And if you notice, we for several years, the waterfall in the park was off because of problems with the pumps. We collaborated primarily with Columbia University and the Parks Department to get the waterfall functioning again. If you go through now, it's not on, but it's not because of a problem. It's just because of the winter, they shut the water system down. So don't be concerned if you don't see the waterfall until the spring. So that should be back on in the spring. So those are the major updates I have.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'll remember to, if you don't mind, if I can just add your name also to the agenda to both of you. And so whoever shows up, that's great.
That's good.
And you can feel free to, we love seeing you in person, but you can also feel free to join the Zoom. Thank you so much. Clyde, what would you like to say?
Brogdon, Brogdon.
Thank you. And then Tapashi.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So a few updates. I'll start with this weekend. We're having Mulch Fest at Marcus Garvey from 10 to 2. Marcus Garvey is a chipping site. So what does that mean? All the Christmas trees that have been left around the park, as it was a collection site as well, will be chipped on site. You can come by and get some hot chocolate and granola and enjoy the company of Marcus Garvey Alliance and myself. It will be cold, so bundle up if you plan to join. It's also really interesting to see the large forestry trucks on site as it's chipping up the Christmas trees. Uh, in addition to Mulch Fest, we'll have a street tree care event where you can join the stewardship team and restore local canopy and learn about all the benefits of our city's street trees. Their event will be on East 120th Street and Madison Avenue, just 2 blocks away from the main event on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Also, next month on February 8th, there is an exciting hike. It's going to be called a super hike of historic Harlem Park, starting in Morningside, moving through St. Nicholas and ending at the northern tip of Jackie Robinson Park. And this is with the Urban Park Rangers. You can learn about the history, geology, and ecology of the three of the 4 historic Harlem parks. Again, it will start at Morningside on Manhattan Avenue and West 110 Street in Morningside Park. It'll go from 12 to 2 p.m. It's February 8th.
Tapash, is there a flyer for that? Can you send it around?
And there's not a flyer, but I can definitely link the park's website link. I can do that after in a few minutes.
You can put that in the chat too.
Yes, I could drop it in the chat. Regarding the 113 street staircase, we are planning to, there's a scheduled meeting, a substantial completion next week. Barring any major issues, we're hoping to open that staircase in the coming weeks, sometime in January. Which is wonderful because, again, construction projects usually take a year, and this project started in April 2024. So, and it was anticipated to be completed by April 2025. So months in advance of what was anticipated. And last but not least, thank you, Callie, for mentioning St. Nicholas Central Park Conservancy has resodded the lawn at 141st and St. Nicholas Avenue. So we're just giving the lawn some time to establish. So I'll defer to Matt as he's our horticulture expert, but that's essentially why we're very thankful to have Central Park Conservancy operate in the historic Harlem parks, and this is one of their special projects that they've done for us. So yeah, that's all I have for right now. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or ask right now.
Good question about Mulch Fest. Hey, Tapashi, Happy New Year.
Hey.
I'm wondering, is Mulch Fest, like, can community members just come and get like a bag full and use it on their neighborhood sort of street plots, tree plots?
Yeah, so we give out a tote bag and you can get some of those chipped items from us. And also, like, we have I never can say this word right, but it's those little bags that smell really nice that you could put in your house. So we're also giving those.
Awesome, thank you.
Any other questions for Tapashi? Thank you. Yeah.
Matt. Welcome, Matt. Happy New
Hey,
Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. A few other comments on Mulch Fest. There are some other chipping sites that are near Community Board 9. So at Central Park West and 81st Street, they'll be chipping trees as well. And then I was looking to see, I believe they're chipping trees in Riverside Park, but they might be at 83rd Street and Riverside Drive, they'll be chipping trees as well. So you can go there and get mulch at either one of those sites this weekend. There are 2 drop-off sites to drop your trees off in District 9 at Morningside Park and West 123rd Street, and then also St. Nicholas Ave and West 32nd Street. You can drop your trees off through this weekend. If for some reason you cannot, you're not able to bring your tree to the park, you can leave it at the curb, and DSNY will pick it up on recycling days to compost as well. So that's always an option to get your tree recycled back into earth. A few other updates. So the or questions to answer that came up. The sod at 140th. That lawn, I would imagine, will at least be closed through the spring. Some of it's weather dependent and how long it takes the lawn and the sod to take. But you can expect that to be closed through at minimum at least the spring. The Sheltering Arms restroom is now open and operating, and we're very happy that that's back open, which means the spray shower come this summer. I know it doesn't feel, summer feels a long ways away right now, but that system will be up and running in the park as well when people are waiting to get into the pool on hot summer days. I think those are all the other updates that I have. Oh, Karen, you had mentioned the 136 staircase. So the next process that will happen for that is once design is complete, they'll come back to the community board and present their design. So we'll get to see, which I don't, expect anything too out of the ordinary for that, but they'll still come to the board and present that and give us some timing on when construction will start after design is complete. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Well, actually, I just have a comment. Matt, I want to thank you so much on behalf of the board and Honorable Patricia Caldwell for assisting her in getting the necessary permits for Donellan Square. We really appreciate your assistance in doing that for the community. Yes. I don't know if Ms. Caldwell, oh yeah, you are on. So thank you so much.
No problem. Happy to help.
But that's what we need. We need that type of enthusiasm. So thank you so much. Just another
You're very welcome.
Part of beautification during the holidays. And we appreciate you for that.
If you don't mind, I'd also like to thank Matt so very much for being so cooperative for the pruning of the park, the trees. It is gorgeous out there. And we, the friends of Donellan Square, really appreciate you and thank you very much for all your effort and your kind generosity of information and assistance. We appreciate
and
you.
Patricia,
no
thank
problem.
you for your persistence. Thank you so much for being so persistent. That's how we get things done. So thank you. It's appreciated.
I appreciate you, Heather. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions for Matt? Anybody?
Yeah, I have a question. This is Callie with Hamilton Grange.
Hey, go ahead, Callie.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to connect with Matt offline. Matt, if you could just provide me with your contact info, I'd like to follow up about the sod project and hash out a couple of details, if you don't mind.
Yep, I'll send you my email in the chat. And Tapashi and I are a team, so if you don't end up getting it off of the direct message, we can connect via Tapashi.
No problem. I have some scientific questions, really. So either one of you who can help me, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
And thanks for bringing that up. That's what we're here for. We're a community group and we help each other. So thank you, Callie, for reaching out to me. Okay. Wow. We're did you have a question? Okay, we have a question. Another question for you, Matt.
Hey, Matt. This is your partner here, North Station Playground, Kelvin McAllister. we're very familiar with one another, and we've been having a very outstanding relationship for a very long time. And I just want to wish you a happy new year and a healthy one. And I look forward to working with you for the betterment of our community at large. Thank you.
All right, we're running on time, so now we're ready for the Harlem Sculpture Gardens. Let me make sure that Elizabeth, are you going to be presenting?
Yeah, I can share my screen.
Okay, good. Let me.
Do you need, should I send you a request or should I just wait?
Yeah, wait, I think I'm gonna.
Liz, you check, you should be able to access it.
Okay. Are you able to share?
I should be.
Great.
You can all see that?
Yes, great.
Okay, I'm just gonna make it full screen.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess I'll just a brief introduction to who I am and what I do, and then I think Savannah will have much more information about all of the projects and this year's Harlem Sculpture Garden exhibition. But just as a reminder, I'm Elizabeth Massell. I'm the Senior Public Art Coordinator at NYC Parks. I oversee the citywide Art in the Parks program. We permit temporary public art projects in all 5 boroughs. Last year, we did more than 80. So yeah, anytime you see public art in a park, we work with Photoville. We've done a lot of the basketball court murals, of course, Harlem Sculpture Garden, and a number of other projects. If you see art in the park, that is me. So I guess, Savannah, if you want to take it away. And if you need me to advance the slides, just say next, and I can go ahead.
Yeah, everybody just jump in. That's
Okay, so good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Savannah.
Hi, if you don't know me, I'm Savannah Bailey McLean. I'm the Executive Director of the West Harlem Art Fund, and we're very pleased to say that we're doing a second rendition of Harlem Sculpture Gardens. It was extremely successful in 2024. And we have even more sculptures this year versus last year. So we're gonna start off by sharing the first slide, which many of you have already seen. And that's Peter Miller's installation. That's a collaborative one. And for the first time, I can say I'm an artist with this one. It's my conceptual idea. With James Richardson's structural engineer, and we have a consulting artist, Native American on the West Coast, Bamoya, who has helped us with creating the right kind of indigenous bust. So we could go to the next one. Okay, so it's slightly off, but it's okay. The lawn that faces the pond will have Peter's work, and on the edge of that lawn, not on the concrete part. That was the one thing Motohiro needed to understand. We are presenting this fabulous piece called Record of Life. He uses fallen trees to create these gigantic versions. You can see underneath a sample of it. We still haven't decided yet. We have another artist who will be doing it. Shugi Ban is a Japanese technique of burning the outer layer of the wood where it's slightly black, or burns heavily where it looks like crocodile skin. So we still haven't worked out the details on that. He said he may do some of that, or given whatever wood he receives, he may keep it natural. We're hoping he can use the Shoshubi-ban technique because it's just really fabulous. It's mind-blowing. But this is a rendering of what he will do on the edge of the lawn facing the pond. The next slide. So we have Graciela Cassell's work. And as you can see, it's like a seating bench where people can actually sit down with solar panels. And it will be diagonally across where Peter Miller's work will be and Motohiro. We're trying to introduce more design into the exhibition, because one of the things we learned in 2024 is people wanted to sit by the sculptures. They wanted to read, they wanted to picnic. So we have some design elements that we'll have more. Some will present in February and March so that people can sit and relax and recline. And of those furniture, we're fabricating ourselves. Yes. Next slide. This is Michael Lachenko. And as you can see, it's a beautiful piece. And it kind of speaks for itself, Belgian marble. This too will be in Morningside Park, where we did have Jura work. One of the things we also learned last year, everything needs to be staked into the ground. Unfortunately, this piece got damaged because it was on a pedestal. So that does not work because somebody will try to knock something down. So, but this is a beautiful piece, and he's Ukrainian. This is the second work where we're including a Ukrainian theme or artist. Next slide. Michael Post, he was with us last year. So he's going to present two works, one in Morningside and one at Jackie Robinson Park. I know that the edges look very sharp, but they're not really. He actually sands everything down. Nobody will get hurt. It just looks that way. But no, he's also a professor at Pratt. And so he teaches a lot, but it looks like it's pointy and it's, you know, sharp, but it's not really. Next slide. And then we have Kobe Kennedy. Kobe Kennedy last year led our inaugural walk. He's a very noted artist represented by Chelsea Gallery. And this is an interesting piece, Delante crossing 110th Street, fiberglass, steel, Kevlar. And it's based on the Napoleon crossing the Alps masterpiece, but he's made it into an urban theme dealing with young people and how they have so few images or ways in which to show their greatness. I know that sometimes the dirt bikes have these controversial themes to it, but when you understand what he's really trying to do, he's giving them a voice. He's trying to give them a chance so that they can feel important, just like Napoleon did when he was crossing the Alps. And we're gonna also do some work about explaining those, because there's 5 versions of Napoleon crossing the Alps. And, you know, talk about that history, the artist with it, and how that was meant to be important at that particular time. And he's trying to do the same things for young people today. Next slide. And then we have Abigail Bregner, who is doing a ceramics piece. We're a little scared about this because our ceramic piece last year got damaged because they were trying to steal it. So, but this one is done and it's up for a second firing. A lot of people participated in creating this community orb. And it will be where Margaret Rolick's piece was closer to 110th Street on a metal base. So therefore it can be very, very secure. And I think people will appreciate ceramics. I happen to like ceramics too. It's delicate, but then it's not as delicate as people think because ceramics can be quite tough as well. Next slide. Now we go to St. Nicholas Park. This is Peter Miller's second piece that he's going to do at St. Nicholas Park. I think it's spectacular, quite frankly. Tether diffusion, aluminum, as you can see, and it'll have this ability to feel like it's being lit. He still hasn't decided if he might include some LED lights, but as you can see, this is quite spectacular where it looks like it's moving. And it will be where Carol Eisner's sculpture was near 135th Street. Next slide. All right, so here is the rendering. This is not the work, it's not done yet. So if you remember, there was the hurricane last year in Asheville, North Carolina. So I decided to reach out to Asheville, North Carolina, because Asheville, North Carolina is a artist community, big time. They have lots of artists there doing all different types of work. So I reached out and I asked one of the artists, this is David, would he be interested in sharing a work he already had so that we could be, you know, supportive of the folks in Asheville, North Carolina, and understand what they go through? Because what we're trying to do is about community. And he said to me, I'll do one better. I will build you a brand new sculpture. So this is just the maquette, but you're starting to get to see this. And it's called After Helene, Hope Rising. So he is going to build it and deliver it to Harlem. And I think that that is a wonderful thing, because as Americans, we're supposed to help one another. Yes.
To our southern roots.
Yes. And so I feel so happy about David participating with us. Next slide. So this is the other work. Bridget Conway is, she is a master carpenter, woodmaker. And this piece, Gridline, will be towards the top of the park, and she will use the Shoshugiban technique. And I'm so excited about that, because this is like marvelous. And the reason why I'm excited about this, we have some other pieces that have a land art feel to it, really is because of Commissioner Tricia Shimamura. We had a tour with her too, and she was saying, oh, we're trying to develop a meadow. And I'm like, a meadow? Yes, in St. Nicholas Park, a meadow. And I said, are you telling me that you are interested in land art? And she looked at me like, I don't know what I just said, but I said something. And I said, that would be pretty hot. And so this is sort of like a land art piece. Land art is coming back. Land art was big in New York City and in the UK, where artists use natural materials connecting to the earth, to the environment. And so the fact that we're doing this Shoshugiban technique, I think is like really, really cool, very, very hot. Next slide. Uh-oh, okay. Yes, the next one. All right, this is by Ayala Naftali. It's not the greatest rendering. I know Ayala for a long time. She's really a metalsmith artist. So this will be in complete metal. She wanted to create this bird bath, and there may be some stones in the center of the top part of the bird bath. She used to go to City College, and she really wanted to be near City College, where she went to school. And so this is a big deal. She's a pretty good metalsmith artist. I mean, like, she got a studio, the tools, she'd be firing all the time. So this is going to be like a bird bath that will be towards the top of St. Nicholas Park. Next slide. All right, Joseph Oshinsky. So he wanted to do this piece. He used to live in New York City, is now in Maine. He's going to come back down to do this. It'll be on the ground. We're working on the installation so it can be very, very secure. We're trying not to make it political, even though that's the seal of the President of the United States of America. So it's basically talking about we should be explaining democracy to each other and seeing what it means for various people, as opposed to, you know, picking a side or the other. But it's about having conversation, building community. Next slide. That too will be towards the top. This is Richard Bragman, and he has steel oil drums that he has fashioned. And that will be towards the northern part of St. Nicholas Park. And there's a lot we can do and interact with the community about these oil drums, about the environment. Next. Montefiore Park, we will have Ileana Emilia Garcia. She will be coming back, and she specifically wanted to be at Montefiore because she's Dominican, and she wanted to connect with the Dominican community that's along Broadway. So her style is these chairs that she talks about when it comes to being an immigrant and settling in a new country and memories. These chairs will be made out of metal. This is just a rendering. They will be made out of metal. There'll be more to the center of the park. We had a problem last year. We had a big problem last year with the homeless population. We didn't know there was a homeless population that was camped in the park. So we'll try to reach out again to homeless services, and the police will be more in the center because we know that Michael Palmer and the West Harlem Arts Alliance has their jazz concerts. So, but last year it was a serious problem, and we didn't know, but now we have a better understanding of what needs to be done. We'll show you a little bit of Jackie Robinson. Next slide. What we're hoping to do, even though we're going to present to CB10. We have a metal piece by Diane Smith. She is coming back. And it'll be made out of steel and aluminum, as you can see. And she's a multidisciplinary artist, very solid as an artist from Harlem. And so that will be near between 145 and 146. And 8 feet high. Yes. Next slide. We have David Karoff and another sort of partnership. There's a group of young people in Rhode Island that does fabrication. I reached out to them because I had an artist, Molly Musk, who did a very large scale sculpture for me on Governor's Island. And so I said, why don't we figure out how we can work with any of your artists? And they recommended David. So this piece here is also a metal piece. As you can see, cast iron. It will be opposite Diane's work. Where we had Vera Taino last year. We have to decide if you're going to raise it just a little bit. Next slide. Yes. Carol Eisner is coming back. She's our oldest artist. She's in her 80s. She built these herself. And hers are about 1,000 pounds. So we don't have to worry about, she's really good. Her daughter represents her. And so we're bringing Carol back, and it will be in the area where we had the deer last year in Jackie Robinson, which was a huge hit. Next slide. We're bringing Margaret Roller back. Hers will be along Bradhurst Avenue. She really wants to have a conversation about gun control in this country, but looking at it from a different perspective. You know, what are these bullet shells are made out of? Because they're very colorful. You would never know. They're in these bright colors. And so it seems like it's innocuous, but it's quite dangerous, you know, these bullet shells. And so she wants us to talk about it. And unfortunately, New Year's Day, what did we have? Another mass shooting. Next slide. We have Vanashpi. I always say her name wrong. And it's a delicate piece. She's a young woman. It will be by one of the gardens near the stairwell at about 147th Street. The long handled part, the stick part, we're going to make that metal. So therefore we can remove any temptation of anybody wanting to pull it down or break it or anything like that. She's open to that. Next slide. We have Michael's piece again. This is Harlequin. It will be where he had this last piece last year, very solid, heavy, no problems whatsoever. And he does solid work. And then we have the next slide, Lori Sheridan. I am so excited about it. This is a real land art piece. This will be in the big field by 152nd, 153rd Street. I want to bring some land art, because for a lot of artists of color, they can't afford to do public art. They can't afford the metal. They don't have the ability to fabricate. They don't know any fabricators. It's expensive. And we are also doing workshops. We have a first workshop next week, and introducing land artists to artists who worked with us, from those who live uptown, so that they can consider expanding their practice. And the last slide is An Pham. I love him. He's in Brooklyn. He's a Vietnamese artist. This is just a rendering, but he's going to create this sort of bench and make this tree that's sitting in the bench with artificial leaves on top, and it will be next to Lori's piece as well. And you can see all these books that are on the side of the bench. So these are the sculptures that we are going to be presenting this year.
Now, did you do all of them, Savannah, or are you coming back in February?
We did most of it, the design, we just have to come back to you
So you
on.
are coming back. in
Right, for that,
Okay.
yes, but the sculptures, you got.
Okay.
We have a
Okay.
couple that we're still kind of debating if we can get it done this year. By Fiji, St. Louis, we're trying to see if funding is coming through for that. And then we do have the small cat, I forgot about that one, that we'll share with you. We have to find a good place for that.
Thank you so much. Any questions?
Was this presentation sent to committee members?
I did not.
Well,
I
we
can-
were late, it took us a long time.
No,
I just
not
got it
you,
late.
because you would send it to them. So
Yeah.
can you guys just share it with
I don't
us?
have it.
Yeah, I got it late this afternoon, so I didn't get a chance to send it out. But I
Oh.
definitely will send it to everybody.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay,
Any other questions?
very good.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Thanks a
Yeah.
lot.
Right.
Thank you so much. Oops, I think and welcome, you have Helen here, and I don't know, do you want me to share what you're saying?
I think you
can
have
share it
to,
on the screen
you have to
and
do
I'll
something for
read it out.
Elizabeth. Elizabeth, do you need them to do something?
No, I mean, if you don't have the presentation, I can send it, but if you have it, then I guess you can just let me know.
I have what you sent me because I just sent it to.
Right, I forwarded.
But I
to the
didn't
board.
get it until, late this afternoon,
Allison.
and I did not have time.
They were having problems getting it, at the board office.
Yeah. So I apologize for that.
But thank you so much.
And I'd like to try to send everything at one time when I receive it. So I'm not sending out a lot of emails.
There was a question in the chat.
I know I did not, because I was trying to get.
Question was, did you ever consider sculpture of one of the green thumb gardens?
Oh,
So we have been in talks with the Lower East Side. So we did a whole tour with them. So we're gonna be bringing some benches to the Lower East Side, metal, wood, and possibly a couple of sculptures. So I am talking to Vanessa Cabrera. And so we are working something out for the Lower East Side and gardens.
I think the invitation is maybe some of them.
Oh,
West
okay.
Harlem Gardens might be a good.
Oh, okay.
spot as well.
All right.
okay, Kelvin, welcome.
Welcome. Well, first of all, I want to say, Happy New Year's to those in person and those who are on the Zoom chat. I want to wish you a healthy and a prosperous new year moving forward in 2025. I also want to say thank you to the community board Parks and Preservation team for allowing me to be, I was squeezed in here. And I want to thank Heather Jason and her team for allowing this, because through the community bargaining agreement with Columbia University and West Harlem Development Corporation, I have an obligation to make sure that I introduce my work here in the community. And so, with that being said, we was on the first page, like this one here.
Yeah.
Listen, so Kelvin, you're a grant recipient. Is that what this is? Oh, so.
Shut up.
And then grant recipient.
Okay.
Yeah, and so, that's not the first page. though.
Oh, I already skipped, I'm sorry, I don't know how to do it.
I got
a little bit.
a line
Let
in the way of
me,
everyone else.
okay, let me try again, sorry.
No. Okay, so, Uptown Inner League is a nonprofit organization of the 501(c)(3). Our motto is specializing in saving lives through play, sports education, health, and wellness. Community service since 1990 as a nonprofit 501(c)(3) organization. Absolutely no fees, because we feel that no child is turned away ever. And just these spaces here and images here, we have a young man who played in our Howell baseball program, instructional. And of course, we all know that guy, that's Kelvin McAllister. And then we have a group shot here where we did the ribbon cutting. As you see, as I do my presentation at the Annunciation Playground. And we had a few leaders, we had people from Parks, we had elected officials, and you'll see that. But I'm really impressed, real good, with this first picture of this young man. This is not just a picture. This is actual a baseball card of this young person. I mean, if I was this age and I was getting a baseball card, I would make sure it's hanging on my mantle all day and all night. So that was something that we were very proud, and they were very excited to get their baseball card. Annunciation Playground, our theme is building a better community. Next. I'm not gonna keep repeating Uptown Inner City, so I'm gonna go where it says who we are. Our mission statement is specializing in saving lives. Uptown Inner City provide a safe haven through our sports, education, health, and wellness program in which our youth have a positive place to grow, learn, and especially to have fun. Uptown Inner City League Inc. promotes the value and importance of sports and activity in the physical, social, and educational development of our youth. Uptown Inner City believes that participation in sports and activity develop important character traits and lifelong values. Next. Sports, education, health, and wellness. If you look at these pictures before and after, the one on the before is when the park was under construction. And then the finished part is the after. And this park is such a safe haven for the kids, for the parents, for the community, and for the school, which is adjacent to this. And of course, with a generous support and donation from West Harlem Development Corporation, this is now our newly renovated track and field at the Annunciation Playground, baseball and track. It's located on 134th and Amsterdam Avenue. We celebrate the renovation of the Annunciation Playground, Parks baseball field, and the track field for a better community. And part of that was our ribbon cutting ceremony. First person is her name is Patricia. I don't want to say her name, I might mess it up too. She is the new Manhattan Borough President.
Trisha Mora.
Trisha
Shima Mora.
Yeah, thank you so much. And the next picture is the director in the center is V. Ramahan. And this is our elected official, Sean LeBrew. Next is Steve Simon. He is the chief of staff. Then we have our elected official here who came out to this ceremony is Mark Levine, who is our Manhattan Borough President. And of course, community involvement. It is so important. And here is all part of the ceremony and the ribbon cutting, celebrating the lives of the young people beneath. And I just want to say personally, thank you to the City of New York Community Board 9, Morningside Heights, Manhattanville, Hamilton Heights, and of course, my partners at the City of New York Park and Recreation and West Harlem Development Corporation. Next.
Oh, am I behind on the screen?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, so these are all
Okay.
the people.
We are in great need of the following issues in the Annunciation Playground, which I've been discussing for many, many years. And I've been very persistent with it, and I will continue to be persistent with it. The restroom and a comfort zone. Build a special community center for the unused or unutilized property on the Annunciation Playground Park. We would like the community center to have a comfort zone, air conditioning on very hot days, and restroom. An administrative office, a pool, for a learn how to swim program for kids, which is so important. A game room with computers and pool table games, convertible indoor sports cage for baseball, basketball, soccer, and flag football practice. Also, an after-school program featuring an educational center for sports management for kids. Some of the kids are not gonna always be pros, but you can be a sports management and you can have one hell of a career. A free healthy eating food court for children provided by local restaurants and a sports gym that can be converted into many types of sport. Unused and underutilized property. I'll get to that in my next slide.
No.
Next. The restrooms, the comfort zone, and the additional features can be built here, but where? Right here, the arrow is right here in the park, where that house that they have in the park, which we feel very underutilized. History. Years ago, this place was a community center for the kids, with functioning restrooms for the community. Now it serves mostly as a storage location for the New York City Parks Department. For the West Harlem community, this is extremely underutilized and does not fit the needs of our children who run and play in this park. We can do better for them in our community. We need supporters and we definitely need funding. Next. New York City Park. Official website of the New York City Department of Parks and Recreation at the Annunciation Playground. Here, as you see the arrow, and where I was talking about the unutilized space, if you look down at the arrow, this is the house that we feel, and we've been talking about for years, that can be better put to use, because it was mentioned years ago that it was only going to be a temporary space for storage. It's been over 10 years for storage. And in this location to the right, this is the park area. So this, we can do better in this area, as I will demonstrate in my next slide. But it's this house that is essential for growth and for prosperity for the community at large. Can you help? Next. There is much more that needs to be done. Here at the Annunciation Playground, this is part the jungle gym area. Up above it are the benches and the cobblestone. We have to the right of the top area, the walls are just falling apart. This is the basketball court. We have more cobblestone. We have a slide that can definitely do a pace change over here, along with the other areas and apparatus that the kids run around and they play in. It was the basketball court, it is outdated. You go around to a lot of these parks in the city now, and they all have fiberglass backboard. Why not at Annunciation Playground? We asked at Jacobshire Park that they newly renovated the basketball court, but I think those benches, we can do another facelift and do another paint job there. Our Biddy basketball court, which is in the second picture up to the top right, replaced 2 basketball nets, the poles, the walls, the railing, and the court lines. Replace the existing backboard with fiberglass backboard, already agreed upon with emails years ago. Myself and Mr. Steve Simon had that conversation, and he was agreeable with it, but it still hasn't manifested yet. The playground, paint the jungle gym, which is where the slide is at, the slide and the handrail, lay new black protective floor rubber squares around the jungle gym. These are trip hazards for the kids. I discussed that for many years. It's just an opportunity so that when kids are playing in here, those rubber mats kind of point up. And I've been proactive for many years. I don't want us to get busy or get active if a kid get hurt. Let's take care of this situation right now. Let's remedy it right now so that we don't have kids running around and fall on these rubber mats that sometimes are protruding up. Again, can you help? Next. We are requesting help from community leaders and seeking community support and asking for financial assistance from institutions near and far. Pro-action, building a better community. Let's get started by having dialogue with the New York City Parks Department. That's important in partnership. Let's start contacting other community leaders and organizers. Let's create a proposal together as partners. Let's start talking about a design package together. Everything is always about collaboration together. Let's find funding together to make this happen. Next. Before I go to this page, I just want to read something that I took note, and it's going to take me 2 minutes. The porta potty at Annunciation Playground, through my organization and through funding and money raised, through my organization, because we knew that during the pandemic, kids had to use the restrooms and they were living far away, and we didn't want them to keep going into these stores because we don't know who goes into these stores. So we made an effort and we provided a porta potty at Annunciation Playground. The trash can. The park is beautiful. We don't want it to be the same old way because there's been a lot of investment at the Annunciation track and field. These trash cans are all over the place. I would hope that Parks Department strategically would take these trash cans and put them in certain locations, chain them up so that they're not utilized as a soccer net, right? That's what the use is for. It's for trash. Restroom. The small house up in the Annunciation Playground has bathrooms there, but it's not being utilized. I know throughout the city, I go through all of these parks and restrooms are provided. Why isn't the Annunciation Playground provided with the same opportunity? I think that's important.
No, but not to stop you, but we're targeted to wrap up at 8:30 and we've got a chunk of agenda to go.
Just 2 minutes, if you don't mind. Just 2 minutes, I'll be done. I did 1.5. The cobblestones that are there. We need those cobblestones to be put back in place. The water fountain at the Annunciation is not working. We need that to be installed. And finally, I'm under 1.5 minutes. Thank you. The love for our community, building a better community, please donate. And you see, we have a Zelle and we got a QR code. If you want to make a contribution, feel free. I'd like to thank everyone for taking their time and listening to our presentation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
very informative.
Can I ask a question? Sure. Thank you for your presentation. You're here today because you received funding from the WHCC? You're here giving the presentation because you received funds, or you're asking for funds?
Both. I am receiving funds through the West Harlem Development Corporation through the community bargaining agreement with Columbia University of West Harlem Development Corporation, but that is not always enough.
Right, it would be, it would be helpful, I don't think we need to do it now, but it would be helpful to understand your funding structure of like how the money that you did receive, what that goes to, and then what the gap is that you're asking for and what
Yeah,
that money.
I was thinking the same thing, but not now, but for
Yeah,
the
we
next.
have to do it now, but it would be really helpful, I think, for everyone to know how you're spending the money that you've received, and then what your funding gap is and what that would go to.
What were the plans for the money that you requested?
Yeah.
That's something. But
You're not prepared with that
Yeah.
today, totally fine, but that would be helpful.
But I can be prepared for it, but
Next time.
because we do have to make sure funding that we are receiving from West Harlem Development Corporation, it has to be accounted for.
Right.
So everything that we get, we have to make sure that we tell them what we're doing with it and how we're spending it. And sometimes it's not enough, and sometimes we go beyond the means of what we're getting from other places, but still, there's still opportunities for more funding. So again, like I said, if there's no children turned away, we can do better things for them and so forth and so on. I've had instructions.
No, it's not a question, it's a statement. I think what it is, there's two things going on. He gets funding for programming, but he's making a capital request. And the best way to deal with capital requests is you put a wish list together, which he kind of did. He put a wish list together. Some of the things on the wish list, I don't see them offering because the pool is an issue because there is a pool right here. Yeah, there's a pool there already, so they may not want to do a second pool since there's one over there. And then the school over here, I forget the name of that school, like 123rd Street, they have like an Olympic sized pool over there too. In the building itself, so they may not want to invest in that, but if he puts a list together and people help to ascertain what is feasible from what is not feasible, because money is going to be tight. There's not going to be a lot of money with Trump as president. So you have to be very strategic about what you ask for and what's doable. And some of the painting, you could do that yourself. Nowadays, you can get free paint from Materials for the Arts, and you can paint some of the apparatus yourself. You don't even need Parks to pull a contract for doing that yourself. And you can get more things done that way.
And actually, having gone through the process, the answer is no. Matt can talk to us later. They will not allow private painting. There is issues with paint, and we went through this with Matt.
Yeah, we there's a special paint and processes that go through on painting play equipment. And if it's not done right, it can actually be a detriment to the children and a safety issue who use it. So we recommend that our shops team, who are specialized trades painters, take care of those issues. If it's a standard park bench or something like that, we are more than willing to have volunteers help with that. But as Calvin knows, we do a spruce up every year to repaint benches and do other painting in the park with our M&O staff.
I know we have to move on, but just for the record, the priority as far as capital is that house, that existing that's there. Kelvin and I both, as lifelong residents of this community, no, remember that house when it was functioning, it had a bathroom and it was a full community center. So we have something to work with moving forward.
And I think we put it in the district.
Needs, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going, thank you very much, Calvin. So
Thank you
Liz,
very much.
Historic District Council.
So just something that I wanted to bring up, this happened in, I believe it was in November. So every quarterly, the New York City Landmarks Preservation Commission meets with the preservation organizations in New York City to talk about issues, to come together. And during the fourth quarter meeting, the Landmarks Preservation Commission Chair, Sarah Carroll, said to the group that that LPC was where does it say? That they had unfortunately received. Is anybody okay? Trying to get out?
Yeah.
Is it because it's cold? Hit the button?
Yeah.
And then
Hold the button.
Yeah, hold the button.
Hold the button.
No. Maybe because it's cold.
I need my chest for that, I'm sorry.
We'll put that thumb in.
Take them up for the team over there. So anyway, LPC said during this quarterly meeting that they were upset that they were not receiving as many requests for new historic districts in the city. So, and that flies in the face of the city has already put forth a lot of historic district requests, including our request for the West Harlem Historic District that was made now years ago. The executive director of the Historic Districts Council wrote a letter to the LPC that included a list of a couple dozen outstanding requests for historic districts. And in that request or suggestion of all of the historic district requests that they are ignoring, the West Harlem district was not included in that letter. So I wanted to bring it up to the committee to ask if we think that we want to send a letter to the LPC reminding them that there is an outstanding request for a historic district in our neighborhood, and we would like for them to act on that. I can't even say in a timely fashion, just at all.
So it's like a reminder
Right.
and bring forward.
I mean, you know,
I've done it now.
and instead they want people to recommend new historic districts instead of like all of these things that they're ignoring. I honestly, I can't even begin to understand that logic.
Is this the West Harlem district request?
So our district request, so the West Harlem Historic District from the state perspective is between 135 to 155 from Amsterdam to the river. And so the request that we made to New York City for, and that's what I'm talking about now, our initial request was just 135 to 145 from Amsterdam to the river to make it smaller, to help them to encourage landmarks, like give you a smaller number of buildings to consider designating.
So you're doing Hamilton Heights.
We've still got nowhere.
Is it preferable that it's a letter or should it be a resolution, even though we did a resolution when we did the initial district, right?
I mean, my thought is that if we write a letter, it can just be a letter from this committee. If we want to write a resolution, that it needs to go in front of the full board.
But
No.
we can start with the letter.
Well, this is one of the things that we discussed at the last meeting. That's why I put it on the agenda, because I thought that the letter was going to be ready for today. So
No, we didn't discuss it at the last meeting.
I remember that, if it wasn't discussed at the last meeting, I know I asked about it. That's one of the things that was not in the agenda.
We didn't discuss it
We
at
didn't
all.
discuss it.
Okay, so I'll review the minutes, I'll have to review the tape.
You can believe me when I say we
Yeah.
didn't.
And you
we
did,
didn't
and you
discuss
did
it.
send an
I
email about
circulated it and I was told that it was gonna have to wait.
Yeah, that's,
Now we're
Hey.
but,
the question to the full committee
right.
is this something that we wanna do?
Yes.
Do we wanna write a
Yes.
letter? Do we wanna write a resolution? My recommendation is that we write a letter, that we understand that there was this conversation that was had, and that the West Harlem community would like to remind the Landmarks Preservation Commission that we are here and that our heritage still would like to be preserved by them.
And you're great. Yeah.
Recognize that you deserve it, right?
So are you going to be writing that letter because that's what you said in the email? Okay, so we have a matter of record. I asked in the last meeting if you could hold on until this one.
Liz?
You and,
Yeah, I'm trying to find my raise hands. But so I'm sorry to interrupt. I can't find it. But Liz,
We can hear you, Ewan.
okay, great.
Ewan, one second, Ewan, we have a question here.
I was just wondering, how does that city of Yes rezoning impact landmark districts?
It doesn't, there are a couple of things that have to do with air rights, so if you're a landmark building, before City of Yes, if you have air rights from a landmark building, you understand the concept of you can't build higher than, okay. So previously, that law said that you could transfer those development rights to an immediately adjacent parcel. Now, City of Yes, you can transfer them within like a full block, like all of the blocks that are adjacent. So you can so there are a couple of other things that's probably one of the most impactful ones, but not impacting the work of the Landmarks Preservation Commission.
Okay.
Do historic districts.
what press, you in?
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you. Happy New Year, everyone. Liz, would you mind, because I did speak to HDC and I didn't realize that they were asking, LPC was asking for new submissions, for potential landmarking. But would you mind adding in your letter to the reminder, specifically request, when can we resume meetings on the West Harlem Historic District? And that we are doing, I didn't do much last year because of, my sister's death and my surgery, but but we're back on it again. But that, just mentioned that we are currently, communicating with the owners from 135 to 145. But more specifically, I'm starting with the original group of owners, which had submitted an RFE to Jennifer Rabb, and those were the brownstones.
Hey, Ewan, so is this to the homeowners in the sites identified by the LPC or?
No,
between
remember
the
they
whole-
gave us that little
Oh,
dot.
yeah, no, I know. That's why I asked that question, because it was a ridiculous suggestion.
Right. No,
Right,
no.
well,
These are the homeowners, primarily
okay.
between 143rd to 140th, Amsterdam to Broadway, maybe Riverside. But the original group was that's the original group that I've started with. And then I'm going to use them as ambassadors to expand it out.
Yeah, if there's anything you want me to include in the letter, just email me.
Yeah, just that, but I will email you. I think we need to get back on track with them in terms of meetings on it.
Okay, very good. We did not receive a violations list this month. And I guess we.
So before we move on, let me just make sure I'm clear, because I was actually talking to Kelvin. So we're doing a letter, is this supposed to be presented at the general board meeting that's coming, or this is gonna be completed and done for next month? What's more convenient for you?
Do we need to present letters from the committee to the full board? I don't think we do. I think it's only resolution.
Yeah, we do letters and resolutions. It has to be presented to the board.
Yes.
So it's the executive, so for the next general meeting?
I mean, I don't know, it probably is gonna have to be February, because I think
Okay.
this committee is gonna wanna review that letter for the next
All
meeting.
right, so it's,
Yeah, that's why I thought. we were-
so as long as we're clear what we're working with and we don't have no surprises next month. So you're gonna present the letter next month, we'll review it and take
Yeah,
a
I'll
vote.
circulate it before the next, before the agenda goes out, so everyone has a chance to
Yeah.
read it.
Okay, so are we all clear?
Yeah, I sent the agenda out on December 31st, so it's been 2 weeks. And, I guess that's what I thought we were going to get today.
So are
we
we
have to
all
wait until
clear now?
Yes, we are, yes,
Then we're clear.
okay.
Wow.
And I have some good news. I almost
Thank you.
forgot.
What's the good news?
The good news is, do you recall, is it Lisa Silverstein?
2 weeks.
That the woman who owns the properties on Convent, one of which was demolished?
Oh, yeah.
And then
Yeah,
she's got two on Hamilton Terrace that have been more or less abandoned. Well, one on Hamilton Terrace has been transferred to an LLC. So there is hope. They feel that they'll be able to get the second house on the terrace. And but not demolition, what's it? Renovation. They've cleared out one of the houses on the brownstone on Hamilton Terrace, and it's going to be renovated, and they're looking to have that ready, sometime this year. So that's a big, I don't know, in terms of her situation, a big win for the community, I guess, that the city is moving on these houses owned by her. And they're looking to transfer some of the property. So that will be one off the list of endangered sites.
Good, that's good. Good.
So is
Thanks.
there anything else, are there any committee, other action items other than Liz is going to prepare the letter? And by what date do you think that you'll have that letter prepared to send out to the team?
Before the agenda is finalized for the next meeting.
Great.
Just so you'll have it for the next meeting,
Yeah.
that's it.
I have an action item as well. I would like to
You can
prepare.
send it out, Liz, to us, to the members of the board, and I'd like to take a look at it. I have a question, if I may. I'd like to know, what are they building above Donaldson Square, where the gas station was once located? What are they, do we know what's happening there?
They're not building anything. I think they're just replacing some tanks, but we had another, we had,
I'm so sorry.
was making a comment.
Oh, yes, I'll be preparing a resolution about, the pedestrian gate and, litter baskets at St. Nicholas Park, at Hamilton Grand.
Okay, very good. And,
Right.
and I think I'm gonna prepare a list of tasks so everybody knows what other people are doing, because I just wanna say that it's not always writing a letter or doing the agenda or doing the minutes. There's other things that people are doing on our team that I want people to be able to take credit for. Like when you visit a park, when you visit a community garden, when you attend a meeting in the community, all these things are important. What Patricia Caldwell did, I think is just huge in terms of, getting the lights placed at Donovan Square. So all these are activities, and I just want us all to, take note of each other's accomplishments, and it's not the grunt work, it's, a lot of times, people don't want to do the grunt things, but I think it's very important when we support each other in the community and we attend meetings and we attend the parks and we attend openings and tree lights. I want to capture those things. Everybody gets credit for those things. I know that, Annette and Veronica, when you said that date, that 7 morning at that, opening that we had, that renovation, that's extremely important. And I just want to make sure that I start, tabulating a list of all of these contributions that you all are making, as a team and as part of the community. And, I'm working on preparing a list of those things, because it's not only about the minutes, it's not only about the agenda.
Well,
And that's it, so it's at 8:28, can we get, unless anybody else has any other comments?
Yeah.
I have a comment because what you said makes sense, but I think we're circling the wagon because that's sort of what Veronica had mentioned in the beginning in September
That's
about
what I said.
setting a Google document.
I prepared one, and I'm gonna circulate it to everyone, and the only other thing that I ask is when you're doing the minutes, if you could please circulate it to the team so that it's more of a group effort, so that it's so that each person can have an opportunity to make edits. What I received was something that I could not make changes to.
That's correct.
So I want it to be more of a group effort, so it doesn't all fall on one or two people.
No.
And you don't feel overwhelmed,
You
because
s-
I would love to be able to make, comments, edits, and to be able to contribute to everything that everyone is doing in here. So if you send something out, it could be a Word document, it could be a Google document, but make sure that it's accessible for everyone.
Why,
It's
but
Well
why
said.
not respond to the email? Why
It's
not just send an
8:29.
email with the response?
To adjourn, please?
Well, no.
Well, no, actually, yeah, so two issues. We sent out the survey. I think you guys have a link to the survey results, so I hope you have an opportunity to see it. As a point of position, I absolutely disagree. If someone has a document, you can respond by email, whatever. You do not need to annotate their work, because it's your work. So you should leave it like that. No one should edit your work. They can send you comments. They can provide comments. Quite frankly, I just realized, as related to the minutes, you had an opportunity. Can I get a motion to adopt the minutes? If we agree that the minutes are okay by majority, they're adopted. Can I have a motion to adopt today's minutes? The minutes?
Motion to adopt the minutes.
Second?
I sent it to you again,
Yep.
so if you wanna look at it.
Yes, I like to have an opportunity. If you could send me an editable version, then
I sent you the initial email, which was dated the 12th, December the 11th. And so if you want to review it and there are some changes, if you just send it in a regular email, that can be done. But I think the point that Chris is trying to make is that if people put in the effort to create a document, to then have someone go in and write over.
No, I'm not, I'm saying some.
It's
basic-
annotated,
Let's do
annotated.
let's do a spell check. We can make annotations, just make it editable, a PDF or a Google document that everybody doesn't have access to. I could even go into the document. That's all I'm saying. Just make it inclusive.
It's not a Word
all.
How could you not go into you could read the document.
I'm,
Make space for other voices of
Yeah.
community members. Joshua has his
Yeah.
hand raised and.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I couldn't be there in person tonight. A question and a comment. What do we know is on the agenda for the next meeting? And may I suggest that we set aside some time so that we're not doing what we're doing right now at the end of the meeting, which is trying to say the things that we want, our feelings about how the committee is running. In the last few minutes when everybody's tired and wants to go home, maybe we set up a little bit of time so that we can get these things out of the way when people have fresh energy.
I sent the agenda out in an editable format on December 31st, over 2 weeks ago. I did not get any responses.
But Heather, I'm suggesting for the next meeting. I'm not talking about today. I'm suggesting.
Right, I'm going to continue to do that, and I'm going to make it so that anybody can make any changes. That's just my process.
That's the process that's been going for years.
I have no problem with that. I'm just making a suggestion that,
Okay.
or the request for the next meeting, that we spend some time on some housekeeping.
Well, if people are you asking for a team meeting on the side?
No, you just say allocate housekeeping time. It's a standard format.
Time to do today,
All
so we finished in enough time to do that. So again, is there a motion to, adjourn?
A motion to adjourn.
Second.
At 8:32.
Thank you. Well done, Heather.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you.
Bunch of us are, yeah, I asked if you were.
Email to Victor scheduling the meeting.
Yeah.
Veronica, forgive me, I got your name